I welcome you all for this wonderful e-summit today that is about 2+2 University Transfer Program. And we have our special guest today, which we'll be happy to share with you. But for now, I'll just keep it as a surprise for you all to know more about it and for you to actually have that excitement to meet our special guest. I would like to welcome you to Community Colleges of Spokane, which is a dynamic community district serving over 30,000 students a year in Eastern Washington between our two accredited institutions. Many of you know about it, which is Spokane Community College and Spokane Falls Community College. So CCS is a vibrant community, very comprehensive learning community, and offering more than 100 programs options to choose from, be it different majors, minors. So be it you have your students from vocational background, commerce background, PCM or biology background, or maybe arts, liberal arts. So we have all sort of program options for your students, and that's what we're going to talk about it today, along with our special guest, and we're going to talk about our special program options which are there for you. So as many of you have been attending a lot of our Zoom and e-summit, so you would all know the Zoom features, but still I would like to give you a little bit details on this. As we will have question and answer at the end of the presentation, so you can put in all your questions in the Q&A tab. So Q&A tab is to ask any questions, so please be open. Let's keep the session interactive. Ask as many as questions as possible. We'll be happy to address that, and especially our speakers, our guest presenters would be happy to answer your questions. If you face any technical concerns during the time of the presentation, you can put it across in the chat box, and we have our IT team, our backup team, the backend team. They will be in a position to help you out with your technical concern whatsoever. So I'll not take much of your time, and I'll introduce you to Ms. Trina Allen, and really would like to thank Trina for taking out your time today. It's late in the night out there in Washington. So taking out your time for our partner agents and letting them know about community colleges of Spokane. So over to you, Trina. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka. Happy Friday, everyone. I wanted to just share a funny point that I was thinking about. One of our Indian students they've now transferred out and are studying at a university. When they first came to their study experience in the US, he said to me, "Man, you Americans really live for the weekend." And so today I was thinking, oh, thank gosh, it's the weekend. So I guess he's right. We really do live for the weekend. So happy Friday out there in India. And thank you for pushing through the Zoom fatigue to be here with us. I think that it's going to be very informative and unique with a few surprises. By way of introduction first, however, I wanted to just remind us of the beautiful thing of study in the USA, and that is that we have options. The students get to choose what they want to study and can often change and update. Options are a good thing, but options can also be really overwhelming and stressful. And students and families might find themselves becoming confused, frustrated, and maybe even give up. So we don't want that to happen. We have been considering that fact. And so we decided to get together and show you a really great study pathway that just might be a good fit for some of your students. So no further ado, I would like to turn this over to my friend and colleague, Farah Antoine. She is with Washington State University and will, with the both of us, her in the lead, will walk us through this really awesome pathway that we have presented for you here. Thank you, Farah.
Yeah, sure. So hello, everyone. My name is Farah Antoine, and I work at Washington State University. My role is lead assistant director for admissions and recruitment. I've been with the university for about 10 years now, so I have a lot of experience working with international students, and I look forward to highlighting this special pathway program from Spokane Falls to WSU. So during this presentation, we're going to talk about some really good key points about why this partnership is a good fit for you and why we would want you to come here and highlight all the great things at our WSU and Spokane Falls. So why would you want to start at Spokane Falls Community College in Pullman? Well, the reason is that Spokane Falls Community College is on the WSU campus. So from day one, you're going to be integrated with WSU students and the WSU community. So the program that we have partnered with Spokane Falls is a 1+3, which is 1 year at Spokane Falls or 3 years, and then 3 years at WSU, or a 2+2 program where you would do 2 years at Spokane Falls and then 2 years at WSU. The programs are going to be engineering and business, but within those two programs, we have about 39 different majors and study fields to choose from. So it's really not limited to just engineering or business. So a lot of opportunity there. Admission to the Spokane Falls Community Campus is very fast and simple. So that's another great reason why we would want you to go this route. It's going to be an easy, seamless process, and then we can transfer you to WSU when you get through the program. So applying to Spokane Falls, what makes it so fast and friendly? No SAT. Like WSU, we felt that the SAT is really not suited for international students. I don't know if FCC feels that way, but I know I do. And so we did away with that requirement as well. And then you'll need a TOEFL 61 or an IELTS 5.5 for admission to SFCC. With SFCC, when you're admitted, we have what's called a transfer admission guarantee. And so what that means is if you earn a 2.5 GPA or higher at Spokane Falls, we're going to guarantee you admission to WSU. And then you're also going to meet the other requirements too. With your study at Spokane Falls, you're going to be taking most likely English 101 and English 102. Mm-hmm. So that will satisfy your requirements for admission into WSU. So all you would have to do is nearing the end of your program is complete a WSU admissions application, attach your transcripts from SFCC, and we can probably give you an admission decision pretty darn quick. So another great reason why you would want to partner with SFC, or not partner, but attend SFCC and then pathway to WSU is the cost savings. With this chart here, you can see the difference in tuition between WSU and the community college. And if you went straight to university, you're going to end up spending probably a good $108,000. And then, excuse me, sorry about that. Got to move this so I can read my slide. Oopsie, excuse me. So 4 years tuition, $108,000. But if you do a 2+2, that's $76,000, which would save you about $34,000, which is 1 year of tuition at WSU or more. Additionally, if you earn a 3.3 or higher at Spokane Falls, WSU is automatically going to offer you a scholarship when you apply. So that's going to add another layer of savings to the $34,000 you're already saving. So I did this when I was a student. I went to a community college and within the state of Washington and saved. At the time I went, it wasn't this much, but these days, yeah, we're saving a lot of money. So yeah, so it's really a great way to get through your whole education without emptying your whole bank account. Let's see. So the benefits, I want to talk about the benefits of Spokane Falls Community College on the WSU campus. And of course, you're going to be integrated from day one. No one will know if you're a Spokane Falls student. The campus is or the building is located centrally on the campus. All your classes would be within this building here. That's on the slide. And with that admission to Spokane Falls, you're going to have access to all of the resources at Washington State University, the same resources that you would have if you were directly admitted to WSU. So this is a really, really great partnership. You'll have access to the library system. University Recreation Center. We have a very large rec center with an Olympic-sized pool, basketball courts, ping pong pool. I mean, anything you can possibly imagine, classes for aerobics, Pilates, anything you can think of. And then we have 13 facilities across campus for university recreation. Another great thing is the tutoring. You'll have access to free tutoring at the Math Learning Center, and then free tutoring at our writing center. And the writing center piece, I think, is really exciting to me because WSU has a writing portfolio requirement when you graduate. And so as part of that requirement, you're going to need to submit 3 papers from your college career and then do a timed writing exam. So as you're a student at Spokane Falls and you're working on papers for your classes, you can access the Writing Center at WSU where they're going to walk you through and make sure that your papers are suitable for the writing portfolio. So you can begin that process at Spokane Falls and then carry it with you to WSU in your junior year. You'll also receive discounts at all of our WSU dining centers. We do have 3 campus dining halls and 4 campus markets. And then we also offer at all of our dining halls and markets, we offer vegan and halal options, which I think is really important for some families. Apartment living on the WSU campus. Now you would not have access to the dormitories, but we do have amazing apartments, family housing, student housing, older student housing if you don't want to, if you're a non-traditional student. And then also free use of the city's public transportation. The Pullman Transit, we have a pretty comprehensive bus system that can take you anywhere you need to go all day long. And all you'd have to do is show your student ID card and you can get on any bus as many times as you want. Another great thing about the benefits of the Spokane Falls Community College on WSU campus is you're going to be integrated with those 2,000 international students that we have that represent 114 different countries. And of course, this is my favorite, the 1 to 15 student to faculty ratio. So when you come from, it's very similar to community college. So we've staffed our university well, so all of our students get the care and attention that they need. So you probably won't feel you won't feel the transition going to the university setting from community college because we have a great student to faculty ratio. And then this is a beautiful picture. This is what it looks like in Pullman. We're in Eastern Washington. It's called the Palouse area. So it's rolling hills of farmland. We're close to the Idaho border. So there you can see, those are the Moscow Mountains. That's a town in Idaho. And it's a very rural, peaceful, safe setting. And I think that's what, so we are one of the safest college towns in America. And then we're also one of the best college towns. So you're gonna get that quintessential college feel. We are comprised of about 32,000 people, 34,000 people, and 62% of those people are students. So definitely that quintessential college town and safety. And to add to the safety piece, we do, yes, it's so beautiful. And it's so, there's so many things to do outdoors, recreation wise, any time of the year. And but WSU has its own police and fire, and they work very closely with the community's police and fire. So I think that's what makes it safe. Plus it's small as far as, you know, when you compare it to other large cities. So another aspect is it's a very welcoming community. Like I said, 62% of the people that live in the community are students. And so, or they work for the university. So all students are welcome. This picture here is our India Student Association, which I wanted to highlight because we pride ourselves in getting our students involved and sharing their culture and teaching other people about their lives and then learning about the American life as well. So we want our students to become involved, and we have 400 different student clubs, and 60 of those are culturally based clubs. So we have pretty much anything you can think of. And I like to tell students too that if you want to do something and you don't see it here, you can create it yourself, and the university is going to support you. So one good example is I was a student at Washington State University in the 90s. So I'm kind of dating myself, but that was when snowboarding kind of became popular. And one of my friends decided that he was going to start a snowboarding club, and it's still there today, 25 years later, and going strong. So, you know, if you have something fun you want to do, let the student, the student association know, and they will help you and get you off and running. We do have 4 student cultural centers as well, which you can use to host events, or just go and sit and lounge and hang out. 75 intramural and club sports. So I know we have a lot of American football teams. Soccer is really popular. Badminton is one example. I mean, anything you can think of. Once again, if it's not there, you can create it. And then 20 faith-based organizations as well. And then this is just another snapshot of the area. So you can see that if you come here, you're going to get to experience 4 different seasons. I didn't give you 4 different pictures because summer and spring are they look the same, but these are average high temps. I know that I get that question quite a bit. Like, what is the weather like there? Do you get snow? We definitely get snow. And so this is in the winter time. So this is a beautiful picture of what it would look like when it snows on our campus. But a fun little fact, all of our sidewalks on campus are heated. So when you're walking to school in the morning, you won't slip and slide on the ice. So yeah, we have, yes, we have heated sidewalks on campus. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So great. Yeah, I know. Wow. It's really fun. And that's then really this picture on the top, I know, isn't it? This picture on the top right, this is what it looks like during the fall when things start to cool down and the trees change color. And this is the main road right through campus. So this could be your walk to class one day. You would see this view. But we do get warm in the summer. We get hot and dry climate. In the winter time, cold and dry. Spring, we get a little rain. So it definitely makes for a fun time because you can go sledding in the summer, skiing. We have mountains so close by. Something to do within 15, 20 minutes. There's lots of recreation. I want to talk a little bit about, and I won't focus too much on this, but talking about how the transfer program works. There's 2 different types, and Trina might want to talk about it too, but there's 2 different types of pathways that you can take. So for engineering, there's a 1+3. So like I mentioned earlier, it's 1 year at Spokane Falls Community College, and In that first year, you're going to really work on your core education courses and prerequisites for your engineering major at WSU. And then your final 3 years are going to be finishing up some of those core courses and then delving into your 300 and 400 level classes to finish your degree. So if you do well and you pass all your classes, you can finish your degree in 4 years, absolutely. The business major, same thing, but this partnership is going to be a 2+2, so you would do 2 years at FCC, get all those prerequisites completed, same process as engineering, and then transfer to WSU with that transfer admission guarantee and hopefully a scholarship. And and just remember, you're gonna be on the WSU campus the whole time. So even though it sounds like, oh geez, it's only it's 2 years at FCC and then 2 years at WSU, I want to do the 1 year. Well, you really aren't going to see a difference because you're already there. Here's a little bit of information about our Carson College of Business. And I think the reason why we've got these two programs going is because they really are our most popular programs. WSU is becoming very well known for their business programs, especially hospitality business management. We're number 9 in the world for hospitality research and productivity. And then number 8 in the nation for hospitality. So that would be like restaurant and hotel management is the hospitality program. All of our students that participate in the hospitality program, they'll want to have 1,000 hours of experience, work experience, and our students never have a problem finding work. In fact, they've told me that they end up working more than the 1,000 hours. So even though you're an international student, we'd be able to find you work on campus through our catering services and our dining services, and you'll get that hands-on experience for running your own business in the real world. So I really am proud of our business program. I went through the business program at WSU. And I will say also, if you are interested then in moving on to a grad program after, our MBA program is number 1 in the world. So very, very prestigious ranking. And those same professors that teach the number 1 program are teaching the undergrad number 8 and number 9 ranked programs. So you're going to get that same expertise as you would from the MBA program. One of the other things that we are implementing at WSU is our ambassador programs. So we really want to bring in international students to work in our office from different areas around the world. And this is one of our students, Raj, and he's from Nepal, and he came as an international student on our Vancouver campus, but he helped me do some recruiting events, and he's very, very, very passionate about WSU, and then went on to get his MBA. And then part of you'll see here in this picture, that's just a picture of what the advising center looks like for the College of Business. So when you go to meet with an academic advisor, you have a nice lounge, you can meet with other students, you can just go there to study. But it's state of the art, it's very nice, and you're gonna get top-notch care through our College of Business. The other program that we're highlighting is the engineering, and that's through Voiland College of Engineering and Architecture. And our engineering school is ranked number 70 in the United States. So that's a pretty good ranking. And then top 5 for power engineering. We have state-of-the-art facilities, labs, where our students have 24-hour access to these labs. You know, I'm not an engineer savvy person, but I was impressed by all of the machinery and tools that these students have access to, like 3D printing and like plasma cutters. And I think this thing here does something with microchips, you know, so just it's, we've had students build Land Rovers and win national competitions, and, you know, really, really fun research too. And you can do undergrad research. So that's not off the table. That's something that we can do at WSU. WSU is also ranked as a top 70 public school in the US. We're also a tier 1 research institution. And along with that, I will say our students, when they are ready to find jobs out in the real world, being in Washington State, I think, is a huge advantage, because many of you have probably heard of Microsoft and Nintendo and Starbucks, all those great, huge, Amazon, all those great large companies are all based in Washington State. And our faculty have ties to these companies and can place our students in top internship programs. So when you graduate through a STEM program like engineering, you can get 3 years of work experience after you graduate through the OPT program, and then possibly work for Amazon or our local global company. We have a company within Pullman. They are a worldwide based company called Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories. They're also another one of our partners. So, and then we also have P&L Laboratories in the Tri-Cities. So lots of opportunity to get you matched up with a very high-tech, sought-after internship. And I think that really wraps it up for what I had to share. But I do want to say and tell you a little bit about our school spirit, because at WSU, one of the things that sets us apart from other universities is that our students, faculty, staff, everyone are so prideful of the school. We have a very, very strong school spirit. And if I see another person wearing WSU gear, I would say go Cougs. And Cougs means a cat, or like a tiger, or not a tiger, a cat or a mountain lion. And so we just say Cougs for short. So this guy here, I would say go Cougs. So I just want to say go Cougs to everybody, and I hope to see you on WSU campus.
Thank you, Farah. That was really excellent. And I honestly learned a lot about our great partner school, WSU. And just to jump in and kind of drive home the reason why we thought this is such a great option to share. Again, just kind of clearing out all the excess noise and stress when it comes to choosing a pathway or a study plan. This is really, really ideal for many students who want to be involved in that larger campus community, who want to study engineering and business, but where saving some money is also super key. So it's just so win-win. You save so much money, you still get immersed in the campus, and you end up with that major dream, degree that you're looking for at a obviously a top university. It's just, how can you, why would you say no? It's a perfect fit. And as well, Farah and I are both from.
One thing too.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go.
I was just going to say too, it makes it, when, coming to a new place so far away from home, right? There's so many things going on, and and it might become overwhelming if you just shove yourself into a university setting. So not only are you having to navigate a new world and new culture and different norms, you would have to also be navigating a different education system. So starting at the Spokane Falls Community College kind of eases that and allows you to kind of adjust and get settled first, and then transition to that university setting where you might have more students in your class and maybe a little bit faster paced education. So it's a really, really good way to just ease into the system.
Exactly. And for those out there listening that are familiar with community colleges of Spokane, thank you for being here. The little surprise that I mentioned was that all of you are most likely familiar with the fact that we have 2 campus locations in the city of Spokane. But the secret surprise is that we have this 3rd campus location on WSU campus, which is what we wanted to tell you about. So there's tons of benefits that we just went through, but there's a couple of differences. One is that students would not be living in our homestay program. They would be living in an apartment setting in and around the campus, as Farah mentioned. But still most everything is the same. They'll have an advisor there, and all of the support that goes with being a community college student, when you're just really right there on that campus. So tons of cool things. We just love having you here. So hopefully there's some good questions, and I know our team, our M Squared team, will help to field those questions. Let's do it.
Thank you, Farah. And it was like really informative. In fact, I personally have this question which I wanted to understand. Is that student would be able to finish off their engineering in 3 years rather than in 4 years, is what was mentioned in the slide for the engineering course. It was 1 + 2. So they will be able to finish it off in 3 years or 4 years.
It should be one.
Engineering is a 1 + 3.
Okay.
Go ahead, Farah.
All right.
Sorry, yeah, it is. It's
Great.
a 1 + 3. So they would ease into that university setting by completing their first year at Spokane Falls, and then transition into the university after that first year.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you
And
so
yes,
much
they
for
can
that.
complete their program in 4 years.
Great, great. We have questions started coming up. So if you have any questions, you can put that across in the Q&A tab, as I mentioned earlier. Now I'll take a few questions. First question is about the scholarships. So is there any sort of scholarship which is being provided by CCS, or later on when the student transferring to WSU from CCS?
So I can jump in and then hand it off to Farah to reiterate what she had mentioned. The scholarships available for CCS for a Pullman SFCC student would be the same as what they would get in Spokane. So they would have access to our annual scholarship portal, which the scholarships range from a small amount to $5,000. Since we are a community college, they're not large scholarships. So they would still have that opportunity to take advantage of our scholarships, but then at the time of transferring, when they're sharing their transcripts and they're going through that process, they're also eligible for international transfer student scholarships. Farah, you can elaborate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the scholarship that we offer at WSU for our international students is an automatic process. It's part of the application. So there's no separate application that you would need to complete for it, which makes it really simple. It's all academic based. It's merit based. So if you're earning that 3.3 or higher GPA at Spokane Falls, then we will automatically give you a $2,000 scholarship a year for up to 3 years. And then if you have a 3.6 or higher, that award will be $4,000 and you can receive that renewable automatically for an additional 2 years. So a total of 3 years. So if you get the 4,000, you know, that's an additional $12,000. That's one semester at WSU.
And probably there's
Oh,
other
that
scholarship opportunities throughout the year
Yes.
as well, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah, so we have at WSU what's called the General Scholarship Application. So I always encourage students to complete that as well. So that would be one scholarship application you'd have to fill out, but it puts you in a pool of over 700 scholarships. So there is money out there. You would have to apply for it. And then of course, when you build those relationships within your college, with your engineering or business faculty, they may know of things that you can apply for as well that are internal to their department.
Great.
Oh, that's great. So a lot
I
of
don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but Raj, the student I showed you on that last slide, he actually found ways to get his education fully funded by talking to people, working with his faculty. But I don't want to get anyone's hopes up that can happen. But if you have the will, right, and it may be possible. But definitely, I can guarantee the up to $4,000 based on your GPA with Spokane Falls.
Great. Thank you so much. So a lot of scholarship options are waiting for you, especially being a transfer student. So you get an edge. Also, you get benefited a lot. Now, I'll pick up another question that is about the living for the students. It's going to be the of living for the students. Let's combine it for both. One is when they are at CCS. Second is when they transfer out from CCS to Washington State University.
I didn't hear the start of the question.
What is the
I did
cost
not
of
either.
living for the student? Yeah, the cost of living for the student. Cost of living when they are in CCS and when they transfer
Good
out
question.
to WSU.
Farah, do you have that
Yeah,
estimate?
that's a good question. So I do, yeah. So the cost of living at in Pullman is not going to change when you're coming from CCS to the university. It's going to be the same because you don't have to move, you don't have to relocate. So if you're renting a home, you can stay in that home. The estimated cost of living for 1 year is about $11,000 is what we estimate in the Pullman area. But I will tell you that that's a very, very high estimate. I know the average for WSU housing is going to be about $500 to $700 a month, depending on what type of a home you want to live in. So, and then off campus, same. And then if you have roommates, you know, like my daughter, she lives off campus at WSU, and her rent for a 2-bedroom apartment that she shares is only $350 a month. So it's pretty reasonable in the area. And I would say, yeah, it's not going to change when you transition to the university.
Great, thank you for that. I think this gives a lot of clarity that around $350 of accommodation is what you can expect, or somewhere closer to it. So nothing much to worry about, and
Yeah.
you can cook your own meal also if you want. Get your groceries. I'm sure that there must be Indian grocery stores if we talk about nearby. So can you give a little bit brief on that?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have in Pullman, we have a few different international markets. And we have Indian restaurant, we have Asian restaurants, you know, we have it all. It is a very diverse community. We have people from all over the world living in this small community, and we have to, you know, accommodate that. And then I will say too, for fun, Spokane is only an hour and a half away. So if you want something bigger and and more diverse, you can take a quick trip up to Spokane, go shopping. There's several different shopping malls there, and they have even larger international markets. So there's nothing that you'll go without.
Oh, great, fantastic, because we love our food, and especially student life is not just about studies, it is also about enjoying, having fun. So there is a lot to explore and a lot to do, as you have shown beautiful pictures around like those mountains and then Idaho nearby. So, and then Spokane, it's surrounded with all lakes, beautiful lakes, so a lot of outdoor activities for the students to do and enjoy their time. And because that's the time we're in, they're going to take it all throughout their life. They're going to talk about with their friends, families, and so on. So now I'll take up another question, which is about our most in demand programs is about computer sciences and cybersecurity. So the question is like, are these programs, the cybersecurity, computer sciences, are these available online right now considering COVID-19 situation, or are on the campus? The cybersecurity and computer sciences program.
Yes. So all of our programs right now are being instructed online due to COVID. For fall 2021, we have announced yesterday that we are going to move forward with plans to teach face-to-face. So hopefully by fall, which our program starts at the end of August, we should be back to normal. But if not, if something happens, we will stick with what we're doing right now, where every student can access their same education via the internet. And that would include computer science and cybersecurity. Yeah.
Okay. Now, another question is about OPT. The question is that what about OPT when a student chooses 1+3 pathways?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, the OPT for engineering, after you would get your OPT at the end of your 4-year program at WSU. So after you earn your 4-year degree, you can move on and do 3 years of OPT, which is huge. For the business majors, that is not STEM, so that would only be 1 year of OPT. And I'm not an international student advisor. I am a DSO, so I know some of the regulations, but I think you have OPT after each level of study. So you might be able to do OPT after community college and then again after your 4-year degree.
Yeah, Farah, I can jump in really quick, and Priyanka, that is true. Typically, I know that the students and our partners are familiar with OPT after the 2 years, then they transfer, then they can do another OPT. So that's a really good question about the 1+3. If we want to get really detailed, technically a student can do OPT after 1 academic year of study. However, in this case, in the case we're talking about, I wouldn't recommend that, because they're 1 year, they're not earning a degree or anything at the end of that 1 SFCC year. They're just in the middle of their process. So it behooves the student to get on to WSU, finish those 3 years, and then jump into that 3-year OPT STEM opportunity. So really, it's still winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
That's great. Generally what happens is after associate degree, they have 1 year of OPT. And then after finishing off their bachelor degree, they again get 1 year of OPT, which can be extended to another 2 years. So maybe that is the reason why this question came up. So a great question. This was a good one for all of us to know about. So next question is about the education gap. So how much education gap is acceptable for the students to get enrolled with CCS and then maybe transferring out to WS after completion of their associate degree with CCS?
Priyanka, I'm going to go ahead and let you jump in because I know that you have that information in your, at your ready about the gap and the flexibility and what we look for and what's problematic.
Yeah. See, when it comes to the education gap, recommended is up to 3 years. Like after your grade 12 to get an admission into CCS, recommended is 3 years, because beyond this visa success. So we always say recommended education gap of 3 years. Now, Trina, I would like to know about, like, after student has finished off the associate degree, okay, student wants to transfer out to a university for WSU. So how much education gap would be acceptable in such a scenario?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Where would the gap be? Before they come to Spokane Falls, or I'm sorry, I
After
don't follow.
finishing off the associate degree.
Okay, so for example,
Oh.
they finish the associate degree, then they step away from college, and then they want to transfer.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a different question, because then we're looking at the visa regulations. They it would depend on what they'd be doing when they step away. So if they're doing OPT, then that's a legit reason to have a gap. They're still involved with their visa process. But if they decide to go home, for example, back to India, take a break, and then come back to transfer, it's definitely feasible. And I really don't, I don't have the ready answer to that. How many years can go by before it's not possible? Farah, do you know?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to start if they take a break after studying at Spokane Falls and leave the U.S. and go back home. They're not going to be punished for taking a break. They won't lose any of their credit, and they can still transfer that to WSU. They would just have to start with a new CVIS record and possibly have to reapply for a visa. So that could be the piece that that stalls them, because the chances of not getting a visa again, that could be a possibility. But there's no time limit on that credit. So if they want to take 5 years off and come back later, we're still going to honor that credit at WSU. But that amount of time, the requirements for the major may change and the course structures may change. So it could add a little bit of time to their major, but chances are that wouldn't happen. But we would definitely honor the transfer credit.
And as well, to tag on, I
Great.
think that
Thank you for answering.
I'm sorry, there's such a delay. I'm sorry. I wanted just to add in, though, about the possibility of that conditional guaranteed admission in terms of the gap. Would they still get that guaranteed admission? I know that's what it dawned on me. That's what they're asking about.
Yeah.
And I would most likely say yes, definitely. However, we would look at those as a case-by-case basis, because after 4 or 5 years, so much can change. So we'll do everything we can to honor that based on the situation.
Yes, because we don't have plans to change our GPA requirements for admission, but you never know what might happen in the next few years. So I would say if it's a short gap, the student is going to be fine. There's not going to be significant changes where it would affect their admission to the university.
Great. So, Trina, next question is about CCS admission. So, what all documents are required for the admission, and what is the turnaround time to get an I-20?
Sure, happy to tell you. The document requirements are simple: passport copy, high school completion, financial support, and our I-20 amount is 18,500 USD or more. And then English proficiency, like a TOEFL or IELTS, and our super easy online application. That's all we need. We don't require recommendation letters or essays or anything extra. And our turnaround time now is within within 5 business days or sooner. And as I think all of you probably are aware, we are doing electronic I-20s. So it's even faster to get that admission email to you and the students by just sending a quick email to land in your inbox.
Great. Thank you for that, Trina. So we do not have any application fee also. There is an application fee waiver. And as earlier we had I-20 shipment charges because I-20 used to be shipped from the USA to the student's email ID, to the student's address, home address. Since that is not the case, SCVP regulations, we can use electronic I-20. So within 5 business days, I-20 would be sent across the student's email ID. So the interaction as the guidelines would happen with the students. So it's a student who's going to receive the I-20 in the email address. So thank you for that, Trina. Now, another question I'll be picking up, that is about what all different university transfer options do we have after CCS?
Sure. So we have handpicked WSU to showcase our SFCC campus location down at the WSU campus for engineering and business. But we do still have more university partnerships outside of Washington State University. A lot of them are in the region, in the northwest part of the USA. And then a few are scattered throughout the US. We have about 10 partnerships now and growing. However, students can transfer to any university with our transfer support and transfer advising. And I would just like to say that this last graduation cycle, we had about 78% of our students transferred to top 100 universities around the US. So that's a large percentage of students that are getting into some top universities from Spokane. So whether or not you like WSU, students can really go anywhere, and we make sure that we give them the right advising support to help plan that transfer process.
Great, thank you. There is a question which is related as because you mentioned 18,500 for I-20. So the question is, does that mean CCS require $18,500 for I-20? So I think I would take that up to answer this question. So what $18,500 mean is that is required as a fund show in your bank statement, because we do ask for your bank statement, your financial proofs to show that student would be able to take care of their studies while they're there in the USA. So this is a fund show to be shown in the bank statement, and we need last 6 months statements to be shown across in order to get the I-20. It's not that you have to pay these 18,500, you just have to show in your bank accounts. So I hope this answered the question. And another question is again something related to it only, application fee. So Trina, can you please give details on the application fee again?
Sure, sure. So when students apply to Community College of Spokane through our partnership with M Squared, the application fee is waived. There is no application fee. And also, as Priyanka mentioned, there's no shipping fee involved since everything is done electronically. So the students would only be concerned with paying their CVIS, their I-20 fee, the I-901, as well as the fee that comes along with scheduling the visa appointment, as I'm sure you all are familiar with. But there is no application fee currently.
And Trina, when it comes to transferring to a university, at that time, if you can just give a little bit details on the application fees, the tuition deposit, would that be required?
Sure, I can start with that and then hand it off to Farah too. So when a student chooses to transfer to a partner university, that application fee is waived as well. If they transfer to a university outside of our partnership, there may be an application fee involved. But that's one of the benefits of choosing a partner university, is that easy transfer process, waiving of the fee, typically no extra English testing, etc.
Yeah, so Trina's correct in that. So we wouldn't charge an application fee to apply to WSU, but the other fees that are going to come after that are, once you're admitted, to reserve your space at WSU, we do ask that you pay an advanced tuition deposit of $200. So that $200 goes towards your tuition. You're just prepaying a small amount to hold your place, but I'm sure we can work something out too where we can waive that because you're already there. And then also there's going to be orientation fee. It's roughly $250. We also have an international student orientation fee that's a little bit smaller. I think it's around, it's less than $100. And then the I-20, when you're going from a community college to a university, that's a change of level of study. So you would have to update your finances and provide a bank statement to WSU. And the amount that we look for one academic year is $44,990. So that's the estimated cost for 1 year of study at WSU. But like I said, that's very high. Tuition is roughly high $26,000, and then housing, food, all of that, travel expenses. But students usually don't pay. Doesn't mean you have to pay the $44,000. You just have to show that in a bank account. But so there are going to be additional fees when you matriculate to the university.
Great. Thank you, Farah and Trina, for that. Now I'll pick up the last question that is about the work options while the studies are going on. So can you please give a little bit detail on the CPT option and 20 hours a week on campus work options? Can you give more insights on it?
Sure. Typically, students holding an F1 visa, as we know, are not allowed to take an employment outside of campus unless the circumstances are CPT, curricular practical training, or OPT, as we know, as optional practical training. So during their study at Spokane Falls, they do have the opportunity to do the CPT, which is typically an internship that could be built into their curriculum, for example. And then as well, the OPT opportunity is there when it fits for the student's degree plan. And same with on-campus work study, 20 hours or less for the on-campus only work study. Pretty sure it's the same at the university. Farah, is there any differences?
No differences, but I am curious. I didn't ask you this before, and I'm wondering, so if a student, can the SFCC student work on WSU campus and have that count as on campus?
That's a good question. I want to say probably not, but we can look into that. Yeah, stay tuned for that. That's a great question.
Yeah, because once they're a WSU student, you know, especially in the hospitality program, you're going to be you're going to be doing CPT to get that 1,000 hours of work experience. And then we can definitely, or if you're not doing the hospitality or work requirements for your major, there are many different job opportunities on campus. We have a website where we post all of our job opportunities. It's called Handshake. And so students can go out, look for a job they're interested in and apply for it. And we have many students work in our dining halls, in our offices, libraries, events. There's lots of opportunity for employment at WSU.
Thank you for that, Farah and Trina. I hope so. This has been very informative session for all our agents today, those who have joined us, and I can still see
We lost her.
We did.
I think she was saying that we can still see some questions in the Q&A for those who are still listening, and that most certainly Priyanka and her team will follow up with those questions and field them accordingly and reach out to us if needed to get those questions answered for all of you who are listening. Thank you for staying on and paying attention and for asking great questions that keep us on our toes. And we look forward to hearing from you, and thank you again for your time.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see and meet some of you one day. So,
When we can travel again.
yes, when we can travel again. And we did it in exactly 1 hour. Look at us.
Awesome. M squared team,
Yeah.
anybody out there? Should we just close?
Yes, sure. I'll close that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for
Dhanyawad.
Bye.